Well, everybody, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been damn. I think March was my last upload to this channel, and now it's almost the end of July as of me recording this episode. Damn, look at how time flies. I wanted to hop in here real quick, and I'm gonna address that the equipment that I'm using today is not my usual equipment. I'm gonna address that right now, actually. I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off and say that I totally intended on recording a very traditional episode of the show. I packed my bag, my duffel bag, full of my gear, camera, microphones, microphone, laptop, all the fixings to make an update episode. A little SOS, a little signal that, hey, hi, I'm still here. And then, of course, I ran some errands today. I went to TJ Maxx and I got a new phone case because my old one disintegrated. And I got this neat little ring thing for the back of it that uses like the magnet thing on the. I didn't even know my phone had that until literally today, and I've had this phone for almost 5 years. Packed my bag, got everything ready to go, and then I get here. After running all these errands, I didn't even realize that I didn't bring the bag. I left the bag at home, left it. It's probably sitting on my bedroom floor. I hope I didn't I hope it didn't get stolen secretly while I was out running errands. Maybe I forgot to lock my car, and somebody out there has mediocre podcast recording equipment that they've now stolen. Along with my laptop, which I use a little too much. But, hello. Somebody got scared of me. So yeah, we're using kind of unconventional stuff here. If you're an audio listener, I'm sorry. This one's going to be kind of a botched episode. I'm using the voice memos app on my phone to record this with Apple EarPods. They're not AirPods. I don't know. I'm using the microphone on the Apple headphones, the wired ones, and I don't know how this is going to sound. This might be the worst sounding episode. And I'm using a new camera that I bought under the assumption that I would use this more often record videos more often. And I've gotten one, and I'm also sipping on a Polar Seltzer pomegranate flavor. I also realized I'm recording all of this on a wide angle lens, so you guys are going to see really the full environment that I'm in. But I'm trying not to say cheers anymore. I feel like we need to come up with a new term for it, for opening a beverage and taking a sip. Maybe we can have that be like a little community outreach thing. I'm trying to be mindful of the microphone so that I don't smack it while I'm recording the episode. But yeah, sorry. This is maybe I'll get home and I'll listen to this and watch the footage and be like, wow, this is garbage. And then maybe this will all be like a footnote in an actual episode that I record sitting down at my desk. I just thought it'd be nice to get outside for a little bit. And I'm in the perfect spot in the sun where the sun is just cascading on my skin, on my face. I'm hoping I can get like a decent tan throughout this, however long this episode is. Yeah, I'm not giving this one a number or maybe even a title. I'm going to make this a titleless video. It's just going to be just the thumbnail, and that's it. And the thumbnail is just going to be a candid from the video, which I think, honestly, can I be honest about something real quick? This has been on my mind for a while now. I think that the new meta for a good YouTube video, a video that I want to click on, is a video where the thumbnail is just a candid from the video. If you can't get a perfect candid, like just a moment that happens in the video that just oh, that's perfect. That was a really big truck that just drove by. Then you go on to Canva or whatever you use to make thumbnails, and then you make a thumbnail. If you can't get a good candid frame from the video where it just, I don't know, that was something in the bushes over there. I'm still experimenting with this new camera. It has two screens on it, actually. It has a front-facing screen and then a back screen. It's got two screens. So I don't have to flip a viewfinder around. but it's not a good podcasting camera, mainly because it overheats really quickly. By the way, I shouldn't say it overheats really quickly. It overheats in the sun very quickly. It's a DJI Osmo Action 4 for all you tech heads out there that want to know what I'm recording this episode on, and hopefully some future videos just using this little doohickey. Okay. Sorry, I was feeling that talking fatigue, and I had to sip my seltzer to replenish the vocal cords a little bit. Where have I been? Let's rip the Band-Aid off. I've said that fucking twice now in the episode. Now I know everybody's gonna click off. If they haven't clicked off already, they clicked off now. Honestly, I think I just realized that I needed a break from the internet. I really spent all of 2025, and honestly most of 2024 also, just really grinding at, whether it was like making this podcast, streaming, making videos. It was really taking up all of my time. And then as time went on, and of course now it's windy, I just found that I wasn't as fulfilled anymore. And I was like, damn. I mean, I ended this podcast in December of last year. I didn't end it. I said that I was going to be putting it on an indefinite hiatus. And that's mainly because I just didn't have anything to talk about anymore. Because I do still believe that there is only so much longevity in a solo podcast with just one. Solo podcast implies just one host. I don't think you can have a solo podcast with two hosts. Unless those two hosts are like really similar. Kind of like that meme of Squidward when it says like you have a friend, when you have a friend, and it's Squidward with two different shirts on. He's doing that fuck ass running pose where he looks goofy as hell. Yeah, that. I also, I guess the reason why I wanted to come back, at least for now, I do want to, like, I think of all the content that I make, the two things that I really want to get back to, that like I'm like, damn, I know I should do this. I really have to get back to it. It's making videos and also making a podcast. Streaming for me right now, I think, and I talked about this in a main channel video that got uploaded like a week ago or something, maybe 2 weeks ago now. Geez, time flies by. I think streaming is the only thing that like won't come back anytime soon. And I think if streaming were to come back, I think I would want it to be, I'm probably like, if anything, I'm going to do like few and far between streams here and there. But I think if streaming were to ever become like a mainstay here for me, I think it would be when I'm like living on my own and have my own place. And it's a little bit easier that way. And also like, I guess what I'm trying to say is more aspects of my life are together, because streaming really is like, of all the content that I do, streaming really was the most time consuming if you think about it. I mean, like, sure, editing a video takes time, recording a video takes time, making a podcast also takes time. But streaming is just straight up like sitting down for 4 to 5 hours a night or like during the day or whatever, right? And just doing like one thing. It's not the most productive. It's really hard to like work around streaming, I think, especially if it's not your full-time job. It's incredibly difficult to work around that. God, I hope there's some way I can do noise canceling or some like wind noise canceling with this audio, but it's gonna be a rough one, guys. But yeah, I think I'm at a point now where it's like I definitely want to come back to doing videos and also podcasting, but I also have been like wanting to rebrand things for a while and also do things differently. I mean, I look back on a lot of the podcast episodes I recorded like a year ago, or even just like in general throughout 2025 when I started this show. I look back on it and it's like, wow, that was I like really almost pat myself on the back for this. I like really captured a almost full year of my life, nearly a full year of my life. And it's like week by week to go back and look at that is kind of crazy. It's kind of nice to have it. But also where I was at the end of last year was not a great place. I won't go into like detail about it, but a lot of things happened in my life that were like, really really out of my control, but also just like things that just life catches up to you, man, especially as you get older. And that was another, sorry, I'm paranoid about this camera, so I'm going to keep hitting the screen to make sure it records. I also just scratched a pimple on my forehead, and it just like unleashed a world of pain onto my forehead. That was a really painful pimple. Sorry, so rude of me. I'm sipping my seltzer water. I already showed what flavor I'm drinking. I don't know why I'm showing it again. Yeah, I turned 27 in like a month now. And that, like, I think I'm finally also at a point where, like, the idea of turning 30 years old doesn't scare me anymore. Whereas it, like, I think it goes without saying for a lot of people who are, like, young and, like, in their, especially when you're, like, in your earlier 20s, the idea, like 30, 3-0, because I feel like, 20 already feels like such a big number once you hit that. You're like, oh my God, I'm 20. That's so crazy. And then, like, then you think about it, you're like, oh my God, I'm only 10 years away from being 30. Holy shit. 30. Oh my God, that's when I have to, get my shit together. And then as you get older, especially as you progress through your 20s, you see a lot of 30-year-olds who don't have it together. Whatever the concept of having it together really is. You see just so many people in different situations, but also, you realize that in the grand scheme of things, 30 is really, really young. I'm still young, guys. I'm still young. But yeah, I think, like, if there's anything I learned in the last year from like 25 to 26 years old and up until now, almost 27, maybe not what I've learned, but like one thing that I want to do, I want to make at least the best of the last years of my 20s and at least be in a better, obviously I want to be in a better place, but like feel like I've accomplished more by the time I'm hitting 30, I want to be like, oh wow, look at all these cool things that I did. And unfortunately, I do think that came at the, excuse me, I knew a burp was coming. That came at the sacrifice of streaming, I think. So yeah, I think that like I've been trying to wiggle my way into other situations, wiggle my way into other avenues, other ideas, I really just want to work more professionally in like the world of like media production and whatnot. It's just that there's not really that much opportunity where I live for that. God, this might be the most boring episode of the podcast. We don't have anything fucking cool or like insane to talk about. But whatever, who cares? If you don't care, you've clicked off by now, I guess. Whatever. Damn, they just sent a whole fleet of trucks because they knew I was getting on track with some point that I was going to make. And then they sent the government sent that fleet of trucks to stop my train of thought. I left my tinfoil hat inside of my duffel bag at home, unfortunately, so that's why they were able to intercept the broadcast here and interrupt me while I'm trying to update everybody on what's the state of the union, the state of the podcast. I'm also joined by a cherry float Coke Zero. This is why I want to do the podcast again. I want something besides my like TikTok account or my Instagram account to be able to talk about when new Coke products get released. Because that's what really being alive is all about, is consuming new things as they come out and being able to talk about them to an audience of like 20 people. Otherwise, what's the point? Right? Anyways, this is Coke Zero, or just Coca-Cola in general. This is their new summertime treat. It's the cherry float flavor. And boy, oh boy, I kind of wish that they bring back the orange creamsicle one, but I'll live with the... Oh, she's spicy. I'll live with a cherry float. Coke Zero. I'll live with this for this summer. An okay flavor for an okay summer. It's a little bit different, and maybe it's not what I wanted, but it's what I got, and it's what I'm dealing with. There we go. See, I knew I would snap right back into doing this just like that. Like no problem. The friction has been lifted. The friction has been lubricated. There we go. But yeah, I'm kind of in the process of rebranding this whole channel and probably rebranding this whole show, along with a few other little ideas. I can't call them tricks up my sleeve because I feel like you can only call them tricks up your sleeve once you've like put them into motion. Does that make any sense? A few other ideas up my sleeve. They're on the upper part of the sleeve. They're not quite at the where you might have like cards or something, you know? Second burp has hit the podcast. There's the third one. Make whatever jokes about that as you wish, as you may. You know, I'm looking at these pomegranates that they have on this seltzer water can, and quite frankly, they kind of just look like red onions or like red garlic cloves. It kind of does look like red garlic cloves. If really, well, not really, but like kind of. Well, it looks like a pomegranate. Whatever. I'm done. I'm so stupid. What is wrong with me? Why does everybody freaking hates me and everything? I'm just so stupid. I make stupid observations about stupid things that nobody cares about. Whatever. But yeah, this is such a disjointed episode. I don't know if I want to say this yet, but like, I have been like applying around to different places that would get my foot in the door in the world of like media production. I said it in the main channel video. I'm going to say it here. I really want to like direct something at some point. I think like my dream is to like make, at least my like short-term dream. I talked about, goddamn, nothing has changed in the past year. I know for a fact I talked about this on a podcast episode like last year around this time, that like by the time October rolls around, I want to have like made like a short horror film. And I still want to do that. So I think like we're now in like the time where like that's what the market is for that sort of thing. I just watched Obsession. I just watched The Backrooms, all of which were made by YouTubers, at least people who got their start on the internet. And I'm like, me next. I know who they're asking for. It's me. They obviously they want me next, right? They're gonna make me. We're gonna make a movie that's cheaper than Obsession, and it's called Possession. And we're just gonna steal beat for beat The Exorcist, but we're going to make it on a really cheap budget, and it's going to make triple what Obsession made in theaters. We're going to blow them out of the water. Curry Barker, I hardly know her, okay? No, but both movies were really good. I watched, I will say, I do think I enjoyed Backrooms more than I enjoyed Obsession. As in, damn, I feel like this is going to be my unpopular take of the episode. Is I think I liked Backrooms more than I liked Obsession. I think Obsession really does, in many ways, like watching the Backrooms was more fun, is what I'm trying to say. As in, like, it's a really cool set to explore, whereas I think the premise of Obsession is a little more interesting. But also, the premise of Obsession felt, in a good way, like a YouTube sketch, but like really stretched out and drawn out, but like in a good way. Like, I'm not saying that's anything bad about the movie. I might be contradicting my Letterboxd review. I'm never consistent, man. I'm like, one thing you gotta know about me, man. My opinions on things change every day. I'm like Schrodinger's contrarian. That's the way you can describe me nowadays. Schrodinger's contrarian. This would be a funny little tangent to go on right quick. Another reason why this podcast came to a halt is because, you see, all throughout most of like 2025, up until about the bitter end of that year, I had like a quiet space to record this show. Like I actually had like a good amount of time during the day to make the main episode, Patreon exclusive stuff, and then also maybe a bonus episode just for the Patreon. This is not me announcing the Patreon's coming back. I will only, oh God, frog in my throat. And I'm not talking about a frog from this pond in front of me. Did not eat anything out of that pond. I just, like, my house became a lot louder. I don't want to, not that anything drastic happened, but like my living situation changed. I didn't have as much free time anymore. I didn't move. That's not like what happened, but like, it's just, there's more people home now. I'll put it to you that way. Than there was when I was making this show. And I had it so fucking good, man. And I blew it, man. I didn't do anything. I don't know why I said I blew it. I didn't do shit. Things just changed. But I had it so good, man. I would go to oh my God. Damn, dude, this is when you realize that like, even like what you would in the moment perceive as a bad time in your life or like a weird time in your life, and you look back on it and you're like, damn, I wish I could go back. Damn, it was so much easier back then. And then like in a year's time, I'm going to look back on now and be like, damn, it was so much better back then. I wish I appreciated what I had. I really do wish I appreciated what I had. Oh, damn. Look at that. I used to go to the gym every morning. Now I don't do that. I would go to the gym every morning, right? And then I would have time during the day, record a podcast episode, maybe make a YouTube video here and there, and then stream. I had such a good system set up there. But it wasn't going to last. I knew it wasn't going to last. It's probably, and I don't know if I'll ever be back at that. I'm not good at adapting to new things. I'm one of those people where like, whenever like something big in my life changes, I have to kind of just like focus on that for a while and ignore everything else and then be like, okay, everything else can kind of come back. It's probably one of the worst traits about me. Probably one of the worst freaking traits about me is that my inability to balance things or find any kind of balance. I don't know. I'm going to crack my back real quick. Oh, my car almost ran out of gas on my way here. Maybe this was like an omen to be like, don't fucking record an episode. What are you doing, dude? You don't even have the right equipment and you don't even know it yet. And all for what I know right now, that equipment might be at a pawn shop right now. Maybe somebody did. I know for a fact my equipment's at home, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it's sitting at a pawn shop now and I'm going to have to go back and buy it all. I was considering going to a pawn shop for some reason the other day. Was it for a video? Was there a video idea I had cooking up? I don't think so. No, I had to finish a thought. Oh yeah, my living situation changed. I have exciting news to bring to this channel. And also, I don't know if I brought this to the main channel. I don't know if I've even talked about it yet. I got a new dog. I think I did talk about that in the other video. Yeah, that's right. I adopted my family adopted a new dog. She is a very hyper, very energetic little puppy. And she's very, very loud. Very loud, just like that truck that passed by. Once again, the government is fucking intercepting this show and is telling me to shut up. They're like, don't tell them about your new puppy. They want me to break the bad news right now. I know that's what the government wants me to do. They're like, no. Enough about the cute puppy, okay? You're not even going to include a video or a picture of her in the episode, which I'm going to forget to do that. Yes, for sure. Well, okay, now there's no way for me to broach the subject without it sounding like we replaced. So, in the span of time that in between this episode and the last episode, yes, I adopted a new dog, but also at one point, separate from, we waited, don't worry. Unfortunately, My childhood dog Bailey, we had to put her down, and that was a really tough thing to witness. That was probably about like 3 months ago now, I think. It was a tough decision to make. And man, oh boy, the momentum of this episode just went, took a total nosedive, I think. At least the emotional momentum of this episode. It's like, oh, haha, it's so funny, he's back. And now just like, oh, the worst news you could ever hear. Dead dog. We had to put her down. She was really old though. Yeah, I mean, it was a long grieving period. She was a big part of my life, you know. She was around for as young as I was, 12 years. Oh, wait, no. 12 years old. Yeah, that's around when we got her. Maybe I was 12 years old, and I'm almost 27. That's a long stretch of time. That's a long period of my life. That's 14, almost 14 years she was a part of my life. And without getting too sad, I was the one who had to, I wasn't the one who had to make the decision, but I was the one who took her to the vet when we sort of figured out the news, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that wasn't fun. That was a bad part of my life. And I feel like maybe that kind of stunted my time in between wanting to return to this forum here, this medium, this podcast, if you will. Oh, goodness gracious. I think this park closes soon. I think maybe I'm going to be getting the old boot. In fact, when I was driving here, I wasn't using my phone while driving before anybody goes and calls the cops. No. I was pulled over while I wasn't pulled over by the cops. You know what I mean. I was on my way here, and I saw on my phone on like the Google Maps thing, it said that this park was closed. I was like, what? And then I get here and there's a bunch of people here. So I don't know. But I know that it closes soon, at least based on the time now. Whatever, you guys don't care. This doesn't matter at all to you. Also, I took an unconventional way to get here. And I'm telling you, man, Apple Maps, Google Maps, they're both the same to me. It always likes to, like, anytime I, like, have to go somewhere, it always likes to, like, take me the most fucked route possible. And I'm not talking about that, like, avoid highways, avoid tolls thing. I usually have the avoid tolls turned on, but I've turned off the avoid highways thing, you know? If I got to take the highway, I got to take the highway. Man, I'm telling you, there are some times where it makes me take the highway, and I swear on my life, it would have been quicker if I didn't take the highway. What is the addiction to the highway? It's got to be like an American thing where we just love taking the highway. It's like we don't have public transportation here, like, at all. The infrastructure here is piss poor. So we like to take the highway everywhere. And I hate the highway. I think conventionally, just based off of how it is and what it is you're basing it off of the good nature of people to let you in, to merge onto a thing where everybody's in these, you know, several ton metal boxes that are hurling at like a high speed, okay? And you're basing this purely off of the good in other people's hearts to let you merge in. And let me tell you this much. People where I live hate to let you merge in. It's like a personal attack on them. At least that's how they perceive it, I think. That they're like, you want to merge onto the highway? Well, I'm here. Well, get out. And then they, you know, I've had to merge onto the highway before at like 0 miles per hour. Well, that's not possible. You know what I mean? Because you're supposed to hit the speed limit of the highway to get on. In case this is me giving you driving instruction, maybe you're sitting at driver's ed right now and you snuck an AirPod in, and I just helped you pass driver's ed. You know what? That should be a fallback career idea for me. I should become like a driver's ed teacher. That's what I should do. I feel like that. Who do they let do that? What's the qualifications to be a driver's ed teacher? I don't think you have to be like an actual teacher, right? You don't have to have like a teaching license or whatever. I found out that you have to have that to become a college admission advisor, college advisor. That was another job that I was really interested in for like 2 days earlier this month. I was like, you know what? I remember having mostly negative interactions and experiences with my college admissions, college advisors. Except for like one. I had like maybe like one or actually 2 good experiences at the 2 colleges that I went to out of like several bad experiences. Namely at the community college that I went to. Maybe that's like maybe I could be like one of the good ones. Like a good fallback career for me is I become a college advisor at like a community college. And I tell people what classes to sign up for. I push them in the right direction in life, you know? Or maybe if I don't like them, I can push them in the wrong direction. I could be like, wow, you have a really promising, you have a real promising future in theater or acting or music or something. You've clearly got the talent, kid, but you know where you should go? The military. My community college had a little kiosk that, there's a little kiosk with like an iPad in the student lounge that you could basically, I guess, inquire about signing up for the military at. And I was always like, damn, that feels very deliberately placed for a community college. And I'm not bashing community college. I went there. I'm not bashing it at all. I'm saying if you know, I barely paid any money actually to go to community college. So I think it's a good idea. But there was definitely that overlooming presence of the military and them targeting, I don't say targeting people, but they definitely search out certain people to try to be like, hey, how you liking college, pal? Well, I know where you're gonna like it even more. The military. Get that uniform on, pals. You're going somewhere. I don't know. I don't pay attention to news. I don't know what's going on in the world. I don't know where they would put you. Maybe they'd station you somewhere cool. Maybe you should join the military. Maybe you can get stationed somewhere cool. I remember I knew some guy in community college who did get stationed in like Japan, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are we doing there? I don't understand any of this shit, man. Now I am probably very, very ignorant right now, and somebody's gonna comment and be like, you moron, this is the reason why, and it's bad, and you're a bad person for not knowing why it's bad. That's my favorite kind of morality that people have on the internet, is the person didn't know about bad thing, by proxy they bad person too. That's such a good, I think it's a really good approach, you know? I don't see any flaws in that. I don't see any flaws in that at all. That's my favorite kind of internet morality. Oh boy. I feel like this is the part of like the part of the dinner where you guys are like the kid and I'm the parent that's trying to tell you that we're getting divorced now, but I'm burying the lead or something. But I'm not burying any lead. I'm probably just running out of shit to talk about. Or at least I'm forgetting any like important life update things to fill you guys in on. I mean, I guess I kind of glossed over the whole like dog thing. We got a new dog. She's been good. She's been like a good thing. I think it's a good thing for me right now, is having that to focus on as like it's a very accountable thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I have another dog. For the record, we still have, as many people, like stream viewers would know, JJ, aka Puppy. Not a puppy anymore. She's almost 6 years old now. You know, we still have her, and they get along sort of okay. Definitely a little bit of like a, who's this new person in my territory kind of vibe that I get from little JJ. From big JJ. No, she's actually fucking huge, dude. She got really big, especially this year, man. I don't know if that's like her just finally like maturing, but she used to be so little, and now I look at her, I'm like, you're a tank. You're built. You should join the military. Oh yeah, circling back to the military and whatnot. Not that that had anything to do with community college. I got really obsessed with the idea of doing that for a while, becoming a college advisor for people at like a community college. And then I looked into what you had to do to get it, or to become that. And you have to get like a teaching certificate. And I'll be damned if I believe that all of those advisors at my community college had a teaching certificate, because damn, I got some really bad advising. Advice? That's it. That's the word of the day. We're bringing back the word of the day on this episode, guys. Advice. I'm not looking it up. I have no cell service here. What it would be on Merriam-Webster. You know what I meant. You know what I meant. I should just start recording these episodes now and just sit in front of the microphone and not even bother saying anything. I should just say, you guys know what I'm going to talk about today. Fill in the blanks. Fuck it. You're the meme now. That kind of thing. That's what this episode is. You already know what I'm going to talk about. You already know what I'm going to say. Who cares? Do I have anything else to talk about? I feel so whiny saying that. I'm going to chug this whole seltzer water right now and see why could I do it? What would be a good reason to do it? For Bailey, because the last time we recorded an episode of this, she was still with us, and now she's not, and she was a really good dog. I feel like I sound like I'm being facetious or I'm being like unserious about it. It was a really sad time for all of us. But yeah, for you, Bailey, let's drink this pomegranate seltzer water. Oh God, she's overflowing. Jesus, what happened? Maybe this is her spirit telling us, hey, thank you for honoring me on this episode. And then I'm going to have to piss so badly after I wrap up this episode here. I'm going to hold on to my thought while I chug this. Oh God. God, what a mistake. What a mistake that was. I already feel the pain in my stomach brewing up. Oh my God, these jeans are kind of like higher on my waist. So they're kind of squeezing my belly right now. Oh my God. Come to think of it, I think this pair of jeans that I've been wearing a lot this year, I think they're women's jeans. I think I've been rocking a pair of women's jeans for a while. As like my daily. Wait, I'm going to burp. It's going to come. I'm just going to keep talking, and then when the burp happens, it happens, and you guys are going to like it. I think my next goal with either videos or the podcast, especially with videos, there's the burp. Wait, round 2. There we go. I think my goal with videos and even kind of the podcast is just to like record whatever at this point, because I've been watching a lot of oh God, I don't want to credit all of this to like Anthony Bourdain, but in preparation and excitement, I should say, not preparation, but in excitement for Bourdain, the biopic about Anthony Bourdain, which I'm really excited to go see because Matt Johnson directed it. And I'm a big fan of that guy. I like him a lot. I think he's a very good director. I loved The Dirties. I liked Nirvana, the band, the show. That's been my big obsession this year of like new obsession. Hey, like the movie. That's been like my new I don't want to say hyper fixation, but my new piece of media that I've been really clinging to is everything Nirvana, the band, the show, including the movie. The movie was fantastic. Loved it. Such a good watch. Such a great watch. Where's my car? Dude, where's my car? Like that movie. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I was really high last night. Sorry, ripping the Band-Aid off there with that one. I was really high last night, and I was watching, like, Anthony Bourdain, like interviews and whatnot, and just things where he's talked, and he talks a lot about, like, I guess to, like, give more of, like, I don't know if this is anecdotal, but, like, to give more of, like, a specific example, like, he failed, like, several times, and I think failure is a big part of his, like, it's, like, the idea of just doing something, and even if it's not perfect, even if it's not great, it's just the fact that you did it anyways. versus not doing it at all and like just, I guess letting the idea of letting the fear of failure or looking cringe or whatever take over your desire to actually like do something and make something. Like I've always said it that like the first few things that you make, or even if you take like a really long break from something and then you come back to it, you're going to be kind of rusty. Especially if it's your first time doing something, it's probably going to suck dick and balls. And I'm making sure nobody's around to hear me say that. Am I getting a ticket? A cop just pulled up right next to my car, which I can see now. I think I'm okay to be here still. It's not... Yeah, I'm fine. But yeah, I think that's part of the reason why I got this camera, which I didn't pay... I think I really just paid for like the SD card, the micro SD card, which I didn't know we still used these days, for this camera. And I guess in getting this camera, I was like, yeah, I'm going to like just make whatever I can when I can with whatever I can. Because as I was doing it before with like obviously circumstances would be different for like a podcast, but like, when it came to like the snack reviews, having to bring like a camera, microphones, all these different things that need batteries, whereas I could just bring one device that does the job of several. And maybe I don't need lights if I'm recording outdoors. I use the freaking sunlight. Yeah, the hope is to just like get back into just making whatever, whenever, and let it be bad, let it be cringy. Let me be a 27-year-old man making content that like a 19-year-old YouTuber should be making. Call that Arrested Development. Call that an Arrested Development reboot. That has nothing to do with the show Arrested Development. It just has to do with the concept of Arrested Development as a concept, not the show. That was just that was a horrible joke. God damn, dude. Could you guys imagine if I did stand-up and it's just me going up there making jokes where like I just word association jokes the entire time, and it's like nobody's laughing. The bartender's comping people's drinks because of how bad I'm doing. They're like, yeah, we booked him for one night. We're giving him a tight 5. Well, they're actually going to call it a tight 2 instead. When they're going to be like, we actually changed the rules. It's for this applies to everybody. We're not doing tight 5s anymore, but yeah, we're doing a tight 2. No. The Arrested Development joke was great. Yeah, no, that was great. We loved it. You really got the crowd going there. I guess it was more of a thinking joke than a laugh out loud joke. But yeah, that was good. That was good. But you can go home now. We'll call you an Uber on your account and your credit card. That's what would happen. There's a little peek into the world of what would it be like if I attempted stand-up comedy. They would I think it would be like a charity thing where they would be like, I am the charity though, and they're being charitable by letting me perform comedy for people, perform stand-up for people. And it's like they're apologizing afterwards for how awful it is. That would be great. I actually did have a good idea for it's not a good, by what metric a good idea is, I don't know, but I actually did have a decent idea. No, I'm gonna stick my fork in the ground. That's not an expression, and say that it's a good idea, which by my metric means it's not a good idea. For a funny little comedy performance that would make me look like a complete fool, but I think it would get people talking. And at the very least, once you get people talking, as they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. That'll really launch my career into the next chapter, I guess. That'll really push me far, I think. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. That kind of spoils the whole point of it. And then that means some little fuckhead out there watching this is going to steal the idea. And rest in peace to their career if they do, because I just told you, it's going to bomb. Which one? That's the empty can. Okay. I still have a little more left in this one. I'm not cheersing this one to anyone. This is also a half-consumed can. Who cares? Okay. I feel like have I scratched my little podcaster itch? That was disgusting. That was fucking vile. scratched my little podcaster itch. That is just ew. Ew. Fuck. No, I should quit. I should forget about this show, man. Forget this show, man. Eat my shorts. This shit is balls. I'm still uploading this anyways. I didn't come out here to sit on this bench covered in ants for 45 minutes, only for this to sit on a hard drive somewhere. There's hair in my mouth. I mean, I want to give you guys something nice to leave the episode with. So a nice little cherry on top of the dirt cake, if you will. A nice little cherry on top of the float, the Coke Zero float. And that is, I want to get back into doing stuff again, but I want it to be stuff that I'm actually excited to do, and actually feel like I'm exercising a side of myself that I want to show. I'm flexing a muscle I want to show for you guys. That's what I want to. I really want to flex my fucking muscles for you guys. And I think that required me taking a break from streaming for a hot minute. Maybe I'll be back though. Maybe tonight I'll do like a quick little. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like doing it tonight. I think tonight I'm going to watch more Anthony Bourdain stuff, and I'm gonna live vicariously through him, and be like, yeah, he's just like me, bro. Like those guys with the Ryan Gosling edits where it's like I think it's from Blade Runner. I just puked in my mouth. That's so much acid in my tummy right now. All I've had to eat today is Chipotle peanuts. Not like peanuts from they're like spicy peanuts. 2 of these seltzers and then like half of this Coke. So I currently have like a witch's cauldron in my stomach. If I were to vomit on somebody, I think it would kill them. And also that really burned the back of my throat. So yeah, that's some nice imagery for you guys to imagine there. A little bit of ASMR, if you will. A little ASMR. What the fuck was I talking? Oh yeah, I was talking about how like I'm gonna be watching like Anthony Bourdain edits and whatnot and be like, wow, he's just like me, bro. But that's kind of the antithesis to what I learned last night. And I'm not some guy who just discovered Anthony Bourdain yesterday. I'm a guy who discovered him 3 days ago. No, joke sucks. Sorry. I watched him like growing up and stuff like that too. And even I got into his writing in college a little bit for a while. I was like, wow, this guy, wow, I thought this was just like the Travel Channel or Food, whatever fucking network he was on. I don't remember. I thought he was just that guy. Wow. Goes to show what I knew. But I guess what I want to say is there is just one you. So when you're watching Ryan Gosling edits and you're going and saying to yourself, wow, that's so me. Or you're watching really just any edit of like a perceived cool character in something, you're going, that's so me, bro. I see myself in that every day that I wake up, okay? And I imagine, no, you should imagine yourself as you, because there's only one you, and you need to be the best you. See, this is my, I've talked about this before on previous episodes, that my calling in life is to really fuck up for the first 40 years of my life, right? Like, even as a child, I think I fucked up a little bit there. But like my true calling in life is to like really fuck up as like through the first 40 years of my life, right? 40 years old hits. So I've got like, what, 13 years till then? Jesus Christ. Ugh, hate thinking about that. 40, I'm afraid of 40. 30 was like, I've swallowed that pill. 40 is like the big pill that Mr. Krabs has to eat in that one episode. I think at 40, that's when I need to become like a, what do they call it? Like a motivational speaker. I've talked about this. I've said that is my calling in life is like, do whatever for the first 40 years. Have like a podcast that 20 people watch and make an absolute fool of myself, go broke several times probably, pursue leads that don't lead to anything. And then at 40, really burn out. Something really bad happens, right? Like, I don't know, just something in my life just goes horribly wrong, right? And then I'm like, you know what? Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get back up. I think that's a Kelly Clarkson song. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I don't think she did that one. I might be wrong on that one. That might have just been like a one-hit wonder girly. And I'm going to come back. I'm going to be even strong. I'm going to be a motivational speaker at a high school, and I'm going to get made fun of by all the I'm going to be like one person. I guess that's kind of how these like motivational speakers operate, though, is like they speak to like, they're like, even if everybody walks away from this school assembly after I spin a fidget spinner and dab, I just aged myself so much. I just showed my age like crazy right there. I wonder what they're probably doing 6-7 now or whatever. That's probably fucking ancient now too. What are they doing? What are these Can somebody? I'm just gonna go home and, you know what? Fuck the Anthony Bourdain thing. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna watch just modern day high school and maybe even middle school motivational speakers. Like not like a TED Talk though. Like no. Like nothing. Not that TED Talks have any real merit to them. Why did I say I like some TED Talks. What am I talking about? Excuse me. I'm going to watch motivational speakers. I want to learn what they're doing now to appeal and be cool to the kids. But I guess the big thing that they do is like, they're like, even if I speak to one person and one person goes home tonight and you know, I don't know, doesn't live their life and, I don't know, sits on their ass and plays video games all day, then I'll pat myself on the back and call it a day. I'm being such a pessimist, man. Jesus Christ. That's not what they do. That's not what they do. I think the video game thing and the like just sitting on my ass thing was me speaking to myself right there and just saying that like, damn, I'm really one of those people. Like I will just get into like a bad habit of like just sitting around and playing one video game. Recently, it was Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider games. That's what I was doing. That's what I should do. Is I should sign up to become, like now at almost 27 years old, I should sign up to become a motivational speaker at these schools, and like I fool them all. I fool the administration. I completely pull the wool over their eyes. And what I do is I go there and I actually give a full-on lecture on the 2010s Tomb Raider games, and I give a full review. And they're like the teachers are all watching. And they're like, what does this have to do with what is motivational about this? And I'm like, well, yeah, you ever meet Lara Croft? You ever meet her? She's not real, so I hope not. Well, she falls down a lot, but she gets right back up. In fact, that's my review of the first game. I'm actually halfway through Rise of the Tomb Raider. And no, I'm not streaming this or anything. I'm not doing like a Let's Play. I'm sitting on my ass in the quiet of my bedroom on my computer. Podcast, not my own podcast. That'd be kind of weird. On the second monitor, and then Tomb Raider on the first. And I've been playing the Tomb Raider franchise, and I think maybe one day I'll give like a full review on how I feel about them. But for now, you're just gonna have to wait and see, I guess. And I guess I can't do the motivational speaker, my little ruse. I can't do that until I've beat all 3 games. And then I literally just get paid to make I'm just getting paid to do a YouTube video essay at a high school. That's going to be a class. I'm calling it now. By the time I guess you do write essays in school, but like by the time 2030 rolls around, I guarantee you that like YouTube video essay is going to be like a class that they teach. I guarantee you it's already a thing in college. 100%. There is a college out there, and when I become an advisor for that college, I'm going to put everybody in that class. That's absolutely a college class already, but it's going to hit high school, maybe even middle school at some point, where they're going to be having you watch Nakey Jakey videos. I don't think he calls himself that anymore. And they're going to be having you watch I actually really like him. That wasn't a diss on him. I actually really like his videos. I'm trying to think of a bad YouTube video essay guy, but I can't. It's not on the noggin anymore. Not on the brain right now. Not what I'm thinking about. That's going to be a thing by the time 2030 rolls around, if not already. If I hope you're not in high school or middle school watching this podcast. That's really you should go do your homework. That's my motivational speech to you right now. Go do your homework. Don't watch this. Or go play Tomb Raider and watch I'm going to say it right, Lara Croft fall down a bunch. That's what she does in the first game. She just falls down a lot. But she gets back up. And that's what we're doing today, baby. We're falling down, we're getting back up. Well, I guess I've expelled my podcasting juice all over the floor here. And man, I feel like I kind of snapped back into it pretty well here. Better than I thought I would. Honestly, I thought maybe I was going to be like all mopey and like fucking Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, just like, oh, well, I guess I'll make a podcast today. I really made the best with what I had. And if maybe you're going to comment down below, you're going to be like, hey, fuckhead, hey, fucker, hey, jackass. If you did plan on recording a podcast episode today, but you forgot your equipment, why do you have this camera? And that's because this camera fits in my little bag very well. In fact, I forget that I have it most of the time. So yeah, I came prepared. That's another reason I love this camera. I'm always prepared if it's in my bag. Well, I guess by that metric, you're always prepared no matter, like, that doesn't, yeah, okay, that really made a lot of sense there, Daniel. And I'm here talking a big game about back in the saddle. There we go. That's what I meant to say. I think back on the wagon would be drinking. I think that's what they say. It's like, oh, yeah. Or no, you're back on the wagon means you quit drinking, which I did do, actually. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I talked about that a little bit in the main channel video. I'm going to wrap this episode up. I promise you. You're probably bored as fuck if maybe you're playing Tomb Raider right now and you have me on the second monitor and you can't tab out of the game just yet because something really intense is happening. Shoot that guy with your bow and arrow, though, if you're doing that right now. Don't try to be as stealthy as possible. That's my advice if you're playing Tomb Raider 2013 while watching this episode at this exact moment and there was a guy you had to kill him with a bow and arrow. It's the best way. Fuck, that was so stupid. I lost my train of thought. Oh, God. Here comes the moping. Here comes the Eeyore. Here comes the freaking Winnie the Pooh moment. I don't know, maybe you guys will see me next week. I really did want this podcast to become a thing that I did with two people, with myself and another person, and I'm not talking about doing a Discord podcast. I like the idea of somebody physically being in the same space as me while I'm making content. I feel like it's a little bit easier to riff off of people comedically, you know? You have a little more back and forth, a little more ping pong, instead of me playing wall ball the entire time. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. I don't know what this show is going to be called the next time you see an upload. And I don't know a lot of things. The future's a little uncertain right now, but if you're along for the ride, hang on tight. If you're not along for the ride, and this is your station, this is your stop, hey, thank you for joining me for this chapter of my life. That got a little emotional at the end there. That got really sweet and kind. That got really nice. Well, anyways. Oh, I meant to talk about that. I don't really, talked about this in the main channel video. Yeah, I gave up drinking a little while ago. I'm feeling better about it. I feel like I'm like, okay. I'm still, I think for a while there was like, I had this like really immature mindset where it's like, well, if I have like one drink and then I stream or I do something, you know, it's going to be inherently funnier, right? And then I stopped drinking and I let go of it. I was like, oh wow, I'm still same old funny Daniel. And if anything, I think I'm a little bit funnier now. I'm a lot sharper. I've noticed actually when it comes to making jokes now, jokes that I make to myself when I'm talking to myself. But yeah, let's end it here. Let's end it here. Maybe you guys will get a little after credit scene where if that porta potty's open, I want to show you guys how cool this porta potty is because it blows cold air on your balls if you're sitting on the toilet. So cool. Quite literally so cool. But thank you guys so much for listening. If you did make it through this whole episode, if not, don't blame you. Yeah, I will. I'll see you guys when I see you. Hopefully, a lot sooner than later, either here on this channel or over on my main channel, which again, like I said, I don't know what it's going to be called in the future. I do want to rebrand some things. I do want to kind of maybe bring on the next chapter of my content creation career. I sound like fucking Nova Online when I did that. Jesus Christ. That was a really mean comment that I got one time that I think got either deleted. It was somebody on TikTok said that I remind them of Nova Online, and I was like, damn, that fucking hurt. That really hurt. Well, anyways, guys, that one struck a chord with me. All right, I'll see you guys. I've already stalled this episode for probably 20 more minutes than I should have. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And yeah, bye-bye.